guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to make a special video and just do it so I could look back on it. And as you guys can see probably by the title, yes, I'm pregnant, and I wanted to talk about the symptoms I have been feeling, how far along I am, and of course show you how my belly looks. So if you guys are interested in watching, then keep watching. Okay, so first I wanted to start off with how we found out and that whole little story. So many of you guys maybe don't know, or maybe you do know, but I am married, and I have been married for 2.5 years now. Me and my husband got married on May 31st of 2014. So yeah, 2.5 years now. And I didn't want to get pregnant right away. I wanted to enjoy our marriage and stuff because I did get married when I was only 20. And he really did want to have kids right away, but he understood that I wanted to wait. So we waited, and I was of course taking birth control, the pill. And I took that for about 2 years. I started taking that right before our wedding, a week before or so. And so on. And then I stopped taking it 2 years later because I decided that I felt ready to have a baby. So I stopped taking my birth control in April, end of April of this year. And I figured I would let my body cleanse itself before I started trying to get pregnant. So I stopped taking my birth control at the end of April and figured that we would start trying so I could get pregnant by the end of this year. So April passed, May passed, and I hadn't gotten that time of the month. And so I took a test, and it was negative. So I figured, okay, well, maybe it's just taking a little longer to come back. And I had kind of been taking care of myself. My husband has been, we were obviously trying to take care for ourselves because we didn't want to get pregnant right away. So time passed, and June came around, and I still hadn't gotten it. So I took another test, and lo and behold, the test said I wasn't pregnant still. So I started to get kind of worried because I have always been kind of a regular, and we're getting a little personal here, but I know it's really just girls who watch this, and maybe you guys have a similar experience. So I waited, and yeah, anyways, I was kind of bummed because I wasn't getting it. And when you're on your body's time and it's not working the way it should be consistently, it can be kind of nerve-wracking. And I started watching videos of girls who said that they didn't get their period for 9 months or a year after taking birth control, and I was so worried that that was going to happen to me, because even before I started taking birth control, I was kind of irregular, and I thought I completely maybe messed myself up. And so I was really starting to regret it and to be really worried because I wanted to start a family with my husband this year, and I was thinking that maybe that wasn't going to be an option. So I kind of just stopped taking care of myself, and I figured, hey, I didn't honestly, me and my ignorance, I didn't think that I could get pregnant without having that time of the month. So I just stopped taking care of myself, and I figured if by some miracle it happened, then I would be really happy, because I wanted that more than anything, because I was honestly worried that I wasn't even going to be able to get pregnant maybe for another year or so. So anyways, the time passed. We went to Mexico. I had been eating very healthy. We were working out, eating really healthy, taking care of ourselves. And so we had a trip to Puerto Vallarta in the end of July. And when we went over there, we were eating super unhealthy. We were eating quesadillas, tacos, burritos, all kinds of heavy and very greasy food. And when we got back, I figured that I wasn't really feeling well, and I figured it was because of how unhealthy I ate out there, and everything just kind of at once. My body was probably shocked, and I figured that's why I was feeling really sick. And I'm not really one to ever throw up. I couldn't even count the last time I ever threw up. And even if I feel like throwing up, I won't. I'll hold it in. But yeah, I threw up about 3 days in a row. And I honestly thought it was because my stomach was really sick from all the food I ate. And my mother-in-law kept telling me, you're pregnant, you're pregnant. And I figured, no, it's not possible. It's impossible. It's impossible. So it was a Friday afternoon, I believe, or Saturday, that we went to an A's game with our family. And I remember on the way there, I did not feel well. I was really nauseous and not feeling well in the car, and I'm not really ever one to be that way. I usually suck it up or whatever, and I tried to as best as I could, but everybody could just tell in my face that I was kind of moping around, not feeling very well. And so that day when I got home, actually that day when we were there at the game, everybody kept telling me, Jane, you're probably pregnant, you're probably pregnant. And I just laughed it off and I said, no, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm not. You know, don't even get your hopes up. So that night on the way home, me and my husband stopped by Safeway, and it was already around 11-ish. And things were closing, and we were looking for a test, and none of the shelves had a test. So I was like, it's okay, you know. And there was one, and we thought it was one, but it actually wasn't even a pregnancy test. And it was about $20, and either way we were thinking, oh, that's too much. We can wait. We'll just go to Walmart tomorrow or something. So we were actually walking out, and my husband went and he asked the lady, and I'm just like, oh my god. I don't know, I'm kind of weird about those things. And she's like, well, we already closed everything down. There's nothing really left, but let me just see, maybe there's something in the back. So she went and she was able to find the tests. So we didn't even see how much it cost or anything. She just rang it up, and then she said $20, and I was like, oh. We still ended up getting the super expensive test, but whatever. Then I noticed that it was actually 2. So we drove back to his parents' house, and we were just sitting there, and then they found out that I had the test, and they were like, what are you waiting for? Go do it, go do it. And I could have literally said I was 101% sure I wasn't pregnant, and they really insisted that I took it. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I went and I got it from the car, and I told them, you guys, don't be disappointed because I'm not pregnant. So anyways, I ended up going to the bathroom and doing the test. And I just sat there, and I was like, shoot, I don't even know what the test is supposed to look like if it's positive. I have no clue. So I'm over here Googling and trying to see what a positive test looks like for the one I did. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And I kind of just peeking over, and it's doing the little line that's loading, because it was an electronic one. And then out of nowhere I look, and I didn't realize how much time had passed, and I look over, and of course it said yes. And I was just in complete shock. I couldn't believe it. I was so grateful, because I was honestly telling God, you know, I hope that I am, but it's okay if I'm not. Whatever is your will. But secretly inside, I really did want to be. I just didn't want to get my hopes up. And yeah, so, you know, I came out, and my husband was there with his mom, and they got to be the first ones to know. And then I let my family know and stuff. And yeah, so that's the story. We were very grateful. We were super excited. My husband's very, very excited. And yeah, so that's how we found out. I didn't anticipate for this video to be so long, but it might be. So hopefully you guys keep watching. So I wrote some notes down because I'm pretty far along, so there's lots of things that I probably won't remember off the back of my head if I don't write it down. So first of all, how far along am I? I'm 24 weeks and 4 days. No, I'm 24 weeks and 5 days. So basically, I'm almost done with the second trimester, because there's 26 weeks in. At the end of 26 weeks is the end of your second trimester, and basically 6 months, you can say. So sorry if I keep looking down, because I'm looking at my notes. So yeah, I had my first ultrasound at 9 weeks. I actually found out I was pregnant at 7 weeks. And yeah, so when I went in up to my 9-week ultrasound, I could see my little baby, and in the ultrasound I could see the baby moving its little arms and legs and kicking, and it was still really small. And at that point, you know, in the first trimester, I did experience some nausea and lots of exhaustion. Thank God I didn't have any severe kind of nausea like I've heard other cases before. For me, if I threw up once a day, that I knew I was done for the day. But really, it was only after 9 weeks or so, you know, I would throw up every day, once a day or so. And then after that, it started to diminish to throwing up once or twice a week, to throwing up once a week, to throwing up once every other week, and then it just completely diminished. So, yeah, it did kind of suck feeling nauseous, but thank God it didn't last long, and it wasn't anything severe. I do remember as well in the first trimester feeling very exhausted and just wanting to get home and pass out. Honestly, I am a bit of a night owl. I do go to sleep sometimes even up to 1 o'clock at night sometimes. As much as I try to go to sleep early, I just can't. But in that first trimester, I remember that it would be 9 o'clock and I would be ready to just hit the sheets and pass out till the next day. I remember that I had a lot of food aversions during that first trimester because of how nauseous I was, and all I really ever wanted to eat was soups. All kinds of soups, didn't matter really, but I really enjoyed like top ramen, which I know isn't that healthy, so I would try to do more healthier alternatives. But I really loved eating soup. I hated eating anything really thick and greasy and heavy, just wanted soup. And I thought, you know, at least if I throw it up, it'll come out in the same consistency. I know, too much information. So my weight actually started at about 138, 139. And for the past, I don't know, 5-6 years, my weight has varied from 136 to about 141. That's been my normal weight for the past 5-6 years or longer than that. I don't really go above or beyond or under that. So yeah, I started at about 138, 139, and then with the nausea and stuff, I dropped back down to about 137. And it took me a little bit of time to get my weight back up. But right now at 24 weeks, I weigh about 143, I think, on a good day. It varies, of course. Sometimes I weigh a little less, but at the most I'll weigh 143, 144. So I really am trying to get my weight up, but you know, the doctors don't look concerned, so thankfully I must be fine. Another unfortunate thing I noticed with pregnancy is that I have broken out a lot more than I had previously, especially in the forehead area. Maybe it's not very obvious right now because I'm wearing makeup, but goodness, have these forehead pimples been haunting me. Just as soon as I think I have killed one and tackled it and it's gone, it will literally come back right in the same spot, and it's so annoying. But it's worth it. So around 16 weeks is when I began to feel the first flutters that they call, you know, when you start to feel your baby actually. Sometimes they say that you could confuse it with how gas feels inside. So, you know, it feels very similar, but I would be able to notice when it was my baby. So in the second trimester, it actually started off very smooth. You know, I almost felt like I wasn't even pregnant at all, to be honest, and I really didn't look pregnant either. I was feeling really great and everything, and up until about week 21, week 20, which is not that long ago, just a few weeks back, is when I first started to experience, well, these symptoms I have had only have happened maybe twice or so, but leg cramps, I remember once during the night, I got a cramp in my calf, in my right calf, and I didn't want to wake up. I just remember like, shaking in my bed, shaking my leg in the middle of my sleep, and my husband like, what are you doing? Just get up, just get up. And I was so tired, I was just like, oh, my leg. And I just ended up shaking it off, and then I didn't realize it until the morning, because my calf still felt sore, and I asked my husband, you know, hey, did I get a cramp in my calf last night? He was like, yeah, I was telling you to get up and you didn't even want to get up. You weren't even opening your eyes. And yeah, and then the next day again, I remember I was laying on my bed and I was doing some assignment and I got a cramp on my left calf. And ever since then, I actually haven't gotten a cramp again. So it's kind of weird because I got them back to back on each, and then it was one leg one day, one leg the other day. But thankfully, I haven't gotten those anymore. And then I also experienced heartburn a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I have never experienced heartburn in my life, and it's really annoying. I mean, I love eating spicy food, and I've never had an issue with it. But this particular day, it really was bothering me, and it's really not a pleasant thing to feel heartburn. So, yeah, you know, if you're, I'm sure maybe of you guys can relate to me. So yeah, lately, the past 3 weeks or so, 3 to 4 weeks, I have really been feeling her move and kick. And even more recently, I have really been able to feel her, you know, literally rolling against my stomach. And it's really such a beautiful thing to feel. I'm really just starting to get uncomfortable in my clothes now. I actually did start buying pregnancy jeans or maternity jeans once I was in my 4th month, I believe. Or was it my 5th? Maybe 4.5, maybe around 4 or 4.5 months, because I started feeling like my jeans were getting just a little too tight when I was sitting. And that's really the only maternity clothes I have bought up until now. I still wear my regular clothes, but I can definitely start to finally notice my bump a little more. It's not very obvious, but if you know me, you know that I am. So I'll try to show you guys a quick clip. Yeah, so that's it for today, guys. I really wanted to let you guys know about this because I don't want to just pop up on here one day and say, hey guys, look at my baby. So yeah, me and my husband are very blessed, and we're very grateful that God has blessed us with this opportunity. And it's really such an amazing thing to be able to experience this. And yeah, so if you guys want to, you know, if you guys are interested in seeing me further along or anything, or if you guys are pregnant as well and are vlogging it or recording your experience, I would love to know so that I could watch it as well. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a very blessed day.